So a while back, I went to an Italian restaurant with my folks for my mother's birthday. And while I was waiting for food, my mind randomly thought, didn't an Italian railcar come to North America? In the mid-1970s, the Rock Island was dealing with a dilemma. Passenger trains had been falling off for years because the average American commuter was meat-riding roads and air travel. We all know. The Rock Island decided to experiment with using diesel railcars for commuter service in the Chicago area. And they decided to try out the best option for this type of job, by calling up the Italians. In 1976, an Italian diesel railcar touched American rails in the form of an ALn 668 diesel railcar from the Ferrovie dello Stato, which is Italy's national railway company. These diesel railcars were built between 1956 to as late as 1983 by Fiat Ferroviaria. I apologize for butchering that. A locomotive and railcar manufacturer based out in Italy that is known for making locomotives, railcars, multiple units. They are also known for developing tilting technology that became used in Pentolino high-speed trains in Italy, and it's also technology that's been applied to other tilting high-speed trains. Anyways, the ALn 668 railcars became Italy's widespread diesel railcars, with a staggering 785 built across 12 subclasses. The one of focus today is ALn 668.1920, one of the 1900 series built between 1975 and 76. So it would have been a recent model when it was shipped over to America. And this was done by the builders themselves in an attempt to convince the Americans to buy some of their own railcars. For some reason. Upon arriving in America, it would receive modifications to comply with American standards, such as a Buckeye coupler, plows, and bars over the driver's window to reduce noise. And it got renumbered from 668.1920 to just 920 for some reason. The railcar was first trialed out on the MBTA in the summer of 1978, and eventually made its way over to Chicago to serve in commuter service, apparently to be used in shuttle service for the Rock Island as a potential cost-cutting measure to see if they could replace their diesel-hauled trains with diesel railcars. It was also around that time that passengers would start nicknaming the railcar as the Ravioli Rocket. How fitting. However, the Rock wasn't satisfied with it. Despite the fact it could apparently operate at even the harshest winters, the reception was less than positive due to the rough ride since, well, the tracks it operated on were less than ideal, something that an Italian railcar wasn't designed for, since, you know, American tracks sucked back then. With no interest in getting more of them, the Ravioli Rocket would make its way down to Mexico, as a ferrocarril I can't even read it, would purchase the railcar for passenger service alongside its fleet of fellow Fiat cars. Yes, Mexico got their own fleet of them, surprisingly enough. And aside from that, the Ravioli Rocket has not been heard of since. It probably could have been scrapped, I don't know, I couldn't find any information on its current whereabouts. Now a question that you probably might be wondering is, why did the Rock Island go for an Italian design when the Bud RDC is right there? Well, production of the RDC had ended long ago, and while yes, the Rock Island did have 5 RDCs, they'd been turning the coaches by the mid-60s, so there's that. Bud would develop a new version of the RDC later on, but yeah, those sucked. And conventional locomotive-hauled train sets worked well enough, so they just stuck with that, which is still the case today with Chicago Metro. As for the Fiat cars back in Italy, the ALn 668s are still a rather prominent railcar model in Italy, with many still in service as of 2026, serving out branch lines in regional areas of Italy. While the Italian railcar didn't make a mark in passenger rail travel in America, it still provided a peculiar sight to see Italian flavors in American soil, as a tiny footnote in the Rock Island's history, where it's probably going to be known as the Ravioli Rocket. You know, as a half Italian on my mother's side, I approve of Italian railways. The steam engines are quirky, and the high-speed trains look nice. But if you want my stance on Italian food, yeah, pineapple and pizza is meh, breaking pasta is a crime, and it's pronounced bruschetta, not bruschetta!